A lark and her momster are coming your way. Gonna tell it how it is, so won't you join us today? And we're recording. I was gonna say in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but we're already recording, so it doesn't matter. Hi, I'm Larkin, and this is my momster. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. What are we doing?
We're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast.
And it's a podcast about moms and daughters and moms and
the ups and downs, the downs and ups, and all the things in between.
That's right. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And today we are talking about our beginning to that podcast.
That's right. We're sitting in a mountain cabin that's really a tiny house.
It's not a tiny house. It's a big tiny house.
It's actually a tiny house.
It's a big tiny house.
But I could live in this tiny house.
It's perfect.
Yes, it is. I think you could live in this tiny house.
I would love to live in this tiny house, although you can only access the second floor by like a ladder.
Yeah, which would mean in another 5 years, your mother would be shit out of luck. You could just go on up there.
If you need some space, you can't get me. All the things you wish you had when you were a kid. A ladder.
Right. You can get them when you're an adult.
That's true. The things you can get when you're an adult. And we are drinking.
Yes, because every
episode.
Thank you. Every episode, we're going to be featuring a different wine.
Yes, and tonight we are drinking whatever the fuck it was my mom got from her job. No, we can say fuck.
No, we can't say we got it from her job.
Just kidding.
Oh, and there's the famous snort. She did not get the snort.
So I can say fuck, just can't say where we got the wine from. That sounds so illegal. Okay. Well, we got the wine not from her job.
Yes, well, actually, but it is a sparkling wine.
It is. It's like a brut.
It was gonna be old and so it was in the basement. Anyway,
it's just getting worse and worse. It's stolen wine in the basement. Just kidding.
But yes, anywho.
So yes, we're starting a podcast. We're going to talk about many different things. We have some, damn it, what are these called?
Topics.
Thank you.
Yes, they're topics for the episode.
We have some topics for the episodes.
And we're going to have guest mother-daughter duos come in and share their experiences because every mother and daughter is different.
Absolutely.
Every duo is different. And we also recognize that for some moms and daughters, they don't necessarily bond.
True.
And
I mean, it took us, we've had our ups and downs throughout the years.
Really?
I've not been great. I've had my moments.
Well, we all have our moments.
Yeah, but I think that it takes a conscious effort to bond. And
sometimes
you just both really love murder, but that's for a different episode.
Oh, we do bond over murder.
We
podcasts.
do. Podcast. I'm glad she specified that.
We don't bond over murder. We bond over those podcasts. Thank you very much.
But wait, hold on. I definitely do think that you would help me hide a body, though, if I ever needed it. She's quiet. We won't go. Okay. Do we have to edit that part out?
No, I think you leave that part in, honey, and just know that I'm not gonna incriminate.
She's not gonna perjure herself. No, she's the smart one.
Anywho,
I can sing though. Anyway.
So why don't you tell them a little bit about some of the topics?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what it is to just be a single mom. Mm-hmm. Doesn't equate if you're a dog mom, because that's just different. But or what it is to, another topic would be only daughters or just a mother-daughter duo. It's a very different and what's the word I'm looking for?
There are different complexities. When you're a single parent with a single daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a bunch of female hormones in one house.
And all kinds of other shit.
That too.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about ethnicity. My mom is beautiful. She has blue eyes, and
my daughter is beautiful, but she has brown eyes.
I have brown skin. You know, my mom is Caucasian, white, whatever you want to call it. You know, she looks like a movie star from like the 40s.
I'll pay you later.
Okay.
My daughter also looks like a movie star from the 40s.
I don't.
She does.
I don't. I don't. Does not. But just how that, you know, growing up looking differently affected sometimes the both of us. We're also going to jump into, God, your poor dealing with me in middle school.
Middle school.
Ooh, middle school.
Yeah.
I don't think that was...
Middle school's worse than high school.
Middle school is 1,000% worse than high school. And it was in a weird time when I was going through... we can kind of jump back to the ethnicity part in that, actually. So maybe we combine those two, because...
No, I think they're different, but if it kind of...
the beauty standards. Yeah, it kind of goes into...
leads one into the other.
True.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And in middle school... Oh my God, these really do lead into each other. Mm-hmm. What it was like growing up, really honestly, without a father until I had a sort of kind of stepdad.
You had a stepdad.
I had a stepdad.
He was good to you.
Don't really have one now, but...
Well, he's just...
He won't listen to
not
this.
a good communicator. He might.
He might. And to be fair, I learned a lot from him, but this is about moms and daughters. So sorry. Not sorry. Housekeeping. The fact that I got my weird idiosyncrasies of how I like to keep everything nice and tidy for my mom. And I swore when I was younger that I would not be like her, and holy shit.
Yeah.
I've become so much like her.
At 33.
It did take me a long time.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay. And then, you know, what it is to write legibly. My mom has the best handwriting ever. It's beautiful. She writes cards, and they look like they came straight out of, like, a font creator. And she just always had such a beautiful way of doing certain things. She has an eloquence when she speaks. She's able to make shit happen, you know, with people like... She's making faces at me. With people like Verizon say they charge you too much, and all of a sudden I'm like, Mom, help me. And she knows exactly what to say. So kind of how she's helped me coach.
What has that got to do with writing legibly?
It's just because... I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's things that you can do that I wish I was able to do, but I do things differently, but I've learned some things from you.
Okay.
Cool.
And you don't write legibly.
I don't, you guys. It's bad.
It's really bad.
I will write cards to people and be like, you want me to read that to you? And then we're also going to talk about what it's like across the generations. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was very, very close to my mom. My mom, for much of my life, was a single mom. And even when she was married, she and I had this incredibly strong bond. And she was very close to you, Larkin. And so it was we were like the...
Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers, yes. And after she died, I think it really did change our relationship for sure.
Yeah.
But it also took me a really long time to move beyond the grief and all of the changes that come with loss like that, and the impact that it has on relationships and expectations. And anyway, so we'll talk more about that.
Yeah. And also, why are you pointing at the topic?
Because I didn't want you
she's
to
like,
get lost.
She's like, move on, don't get lost. Yeah, I will. But I just want to speak to that really quickly. Do you remember when I totally used to call Gami and be like, Mom's mad at me. fix it.
Yes. And then she would call me and say, why are you mad at Larkin? What? Susan? Why are you mad at her?
Also, overalls, different. That was such a weird health.
It's a different topic.
Transition. Thank you.
Different
day.
week.
Right. But we will talk about overalls, different aesthetics, you know, things that I used to look at my mom and be like, oh God, I would never wear that. And I'm 1,000% wearing overalls right now. In fact, I think you wore them when you were my age.
I did.
Yeah.
I wore them a lot when I was your age.
They're fantastic.
They are.
And speaking of which, you know, also kind of going into what it's like to age gracefully. My mom does not look her age. Everyone that looks at her could not guess how old she is. She is.
I work really hard on that.
She's beautiful. And she takes care of herself. She takes care of me. I make sure to help take care of her. I make her work out with me, even though the workouts are brutal. Shout out Obey.
Oh God, are they brutal?
And
that Catherine woman is a wily bitch.
Gosh, I really hope that Catherine listens to this. I'm just send her an Instagram message, be like, "Hey, you wily bitch, we love your workouts."
No, we don't. We don't love them.
We do love them. We just hate them in the moment.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, we're like, yeah.
No.
Okay. We'll also discuss about how it took me 33 years to realize that my mom's always right.
I am. No.
Okay, 1,000%. When we started this, she's like, I would say that I'm not always right. I like how that switched up real quick. I knew I am.
I'm not always right.
I'm always right.
I'm just right most of the time.
99.9% of the time.
It's not that I'm right. It's just that I have lived on this earth longer. And so I have a lot more real experience. And therefore, it's not about right or wrong. It's just more experience.
Fair.
Knowing how to handle certain situations, what conversations can be more effective.
Oh, sorry. You just said, sorry.
What did I say?
You just so, I could tell you've been drinking because you're like, situation.
It's because the wine is good.
Nice.
Yeah, so handling certain situations. Did I say it better?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking of certain situations, the many misadventures that we have gotten ourselves into
while traveling,
I will speak on in that episode. I will speak on a very specific instance where she brought us to a murder house in Ireland, and I made her walk how many blocks, how many miles until we found a new place because we were not staying there.
Well, it's not. It was an Airbnb that I booked, and when we got in there, it was just really not good vibes. And she looked at me and I said, well, we're only going to stay, we were in Cork, and she looked at me and she goes, there's no way in hell I'm staying in here. And so I was like, okay. So we used the fact that the owners were painting.
They were painting, probably to cover up the blood spatters.
Yes, to get out of the Airbnb fee.
Yes.
Because, we're allergic. I hope they never listen to this.
No.
Or Airbnb. But we were able
We've stayed at many Airbnbs that we've loved and have done great. So Airbnb, you're fine.
Well, and we found a great place. We just kept walking down.
For a long time. Mind you. We'll get into this in that episode.
Right.
But let's just say this is like a freaking 12-mile episode.
It was fun, though.
With suitcases. We do, with suitcases.
Well, we have each had a suitcase.
And a backpack.
And a bag. And that is it. Because when we travel...
But when you're walking, though...
But when we travel, we do not check luggage.
No, we learned that in Africa. But we'll get into that in another...
Yes, that could be a whole nother
other episode. Africa.
What happens in Africa stays in Africa.
Down in Africa. Okay, yes. And then finally... Oh, this is really cool because I love the number 13, and this is how many episodes we've come up with so far. Murder.
Murder.
I love the way they say it in Scotland. Murder. That's not how they say it in Scotland.
No.
Oh, no. I'm not even going to keep trying it. Murder. A focus on our love for murder podcasts.
We are truly obsessed.
Yes. Documentaries. My mom got me into Edgar Allan Poe at a very young age. I was fine.
We actually listened to Edgar Allan Poe at the time.
We went to San Francisco.
Well, that too. But before then, remember when we went to Florida? That time you were listening to Edgar Allan Poe.
Whole other episode. Don't ever go anywhere in a water park by yourself with a friend.
Because then your mother will think that you have been kidnapped.
You'll have to apologize to every person that works there, and it's very embarrassing. Oh my God. Okay, that's another episode.
You were 8.
I was still very embarrassed.
Yes, well.
But also, it was a good lesson because as I got older and started listening to murder podcasts, I realized that this is how people get kids to Help me.
Bad situations. They
Sure.
use another
Traffic,
child.
yes.
Right.
Traffic,
They
yes.
use another child to recruit.
Yep.
And some of us knew that, which is why we're always right.
Fair enough. But yeah, and then we'll dive deeper into like where the fuck did the murder obsession come from. So that's kind of what we have so far.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fun. I think as we bring in other mother-daughter duos, and we'll actually have concrete researched information that relates to some of the challenges that moms and daughters face, what some of the things that we face, mental health issues, just some of the
Actual health issues.
right, health issues, some of the political challenges that are out there that are facing women. We have a lot of things that I think we can share that hopefully will help other moms and daughters that are kind of at the same stage of life that we're in, but also younger moms and daughters. Because my goal would be to help moms who are dealing with daughters in middle school and high school and university that are struggling learn that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's hope.
Yeah. And my goal would be to help daughters realize the importance of their relationship with their moms. I know it's not always easy to have. I know everyone has different relationships with their moms, with their families. But for me, especially being a single mother-daughter duo, just realizing the importance of, one, being able to be honest and like brutally honest and having what is called radical candor. Being able to talk about things, the hard things, the good things, and kind of just
the importance of listening.
The importance of listening.
The importance of honoring that daughters don't have to be like their mothers, and
True.
moms don't have to be like their daughters. It goes both ways.
I mean, duh. But it's true. We'll talk about the things that I'm currently teaching my mom. Not even teaching, but just kind of getting you more into.
And I'm going to talk about how I'm trying to help my child at the age of 33 stop saying
At least we've gone from like all the time to so I'll take that. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening to our first
non-official part of the podcast.
Non-official part of the podcast, the introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will see, oh my gosh. See you later, alligator, after wild crocodile, and wait, no, that's the same thing.
We'll come up with a catchy catchphrase
alligator.
for the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Soon. Before the first official
See you
launch.
soon, baboon. That's what it was.
It.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to stop now that we're drinking more.
Yes, and we look forward to introducing the next official bottle of wine at our first official podcast.
Yay! This could be a first official podcast.
I don't know.
It's a teaser.
I think it's a teaser.
It's a teaser. It's a teaser trailer. Trailer teaser.
Say that fast 3 times.
Teaser trailer.
No more wine for you.
Thanks for listening. We hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, week, month, whatever year it is. 2024. And we will talk to you later. La 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 la. This will be the outro.
We have to come up with a theme song.
Bye.